Okay, today we're going to look at how to knurl. Knurling provides a grip surface and raises the diameter. So a lot of the projects they make on the lake require knurling. So how do we do it? Well, first of all, we come over here, we need to set the feed rate to about 40 thousandths, all right, per revolution, because we're only going about 100 RPM. So we got to get it going a little bit faster, all right? And so looks like we got it set for the B, T, X, and 2. That puts us at 32 thousandths feed rate. This lever here, it changes direction of the feed rod. Right now, the carriage will go towards the headstock, and when we get done knurling, we may have to reverse direction, and we'll put this in the other position so it goes towards the tailstock. Let me show you a picture of the knurl tool we're going to be using. Okay, it's a scissors knurl, and it puts a load in this direction and in the other direction opposite, so it kind of cancels the pressure out on the part. It's good for any size parts, but especially for smaller cross-sectional parts that could bend. This takes some of the load off of it. Now when we put this in here, we want to make sure to clean it up a little bit. We want to make sure that the pins are on the center line of the part. Alright, if you get it too far this way or too far advanced, the knurlers, as you pinch it tighter, could snap off the part and ruin your knurl, ruin your part. So that's the very first thing. We'll get it. And how does it look over there, guys? Looks pretty good. Pretty well centered.
Yeah, needs to come back a little bit maybe.
Alright, come back a little bit.
Just a little.
Remember, center line of the pin on the part.
Pretty close.
Pretty good? Okay. And notice the knurling wheel is just a little bit past the edge of the part where I'm going to start, so the knurl, you're always going to knurl longer than you need. You can always turn it down. It takes some of the knurl away. It's hard to knurl from one spot to an exact, another length. So it's always best to knurl longer and then turn it down. So I'm going to go ahead and start it up. We're at about 100 RPM. And there's this little nut here we need to tighten. I usually go about a quarter revolution. Once it touches, starts turning, about a quarter revolution. Alright, maybe just a tad more as it's spinning. And then we're going to move the carriage down the axis. So I'm in position 1 here, and the feed rod is spinning, and we'll send it down. I'm going to use a little cutting oil. There we go. Leave the knurling wheel on the part. Alright. There. Alright. I'm gonna switch directions. Okay, it's gonna change the feed rod to the opposite. It's gonna spin the opposite direction. Now it's gonna go towards the tailstock. And there's my movement of my carriage. Put a little cutting oil on it. I may have to do this a couple times based on the knurling wheels. Sometimes, overuse, they get a little dull, and it could happen the first time. You don't know. So we'll inspect it after we stop here. again, or is it good? You should have a nice cross pattern that gives you a diamond. All right, and sometimes you got to get rid of all the oil. Remember, it's not a cutting action; it displaces material.
I think it looks good.
Looks pretty good. Okay, so down once, down back once, we're done. Not too bad. Loosen the nut. And then we can chamfer this side and chamfer that side, and we got a finished part pretty much. Okay, that's it for knurling.